look at, because there is official version, for example, and unofficial. Officially, from 1980, in the world, don't make vaccination anymore because there is no disease in the world. And to reach this, United States, Soviet Union, and India, they work together developing vaccine, producing vaccine, and spread this vaccine for free in all countries all over the world, in all continents, everywhere. And everybody, all the children, they were vaccinated. And then it was a period, few times longer as a period that microorganism of smallpox live in open area, and when no one gets this disease, so vaccination officially in 1980 was finished, and it was World Health Organization magazine with a photo of our planet and written no more smallpox in the world. But bacteria of smallpox kept in the few laboratories in the world. And that is, of course, Pasteur Institute in Paris, Institute of Vaccine and Serums in Moscow, and in the United States. And don't write about this, but I'm sure that also they have some institute for vaccine and serums in India as well. So these four countries they have. What for? And what does it mean to keep the microorganisms? So you have microbiology.
Not yet.
Later, you don't know. To keep alive this, you need always make a passage that they grow and stay alive. You can't keep dead or something. No meaning to this. So, and they have it. If for some reasons it will be again an epidemic, then it will be possible immediately to start to produce vaccines and so on. Vaccination. Our time is rather difficult from all points of view. That's why everything is not so easy. Later was discovered that United States of America that they make vaccination against smallpox to all the military persons. Later, in the 90s, so throughout it. Then they start like a fight between scientists and military people and between politicals that why they do this. If they do this, that means they want to use smallpox like a biological gun. Practically and theoretically, of course, it is possible. However, of course, we hope people that it will not happen. Then you know, in the last period of time, this monkey smallpox, few years ago, it was spread in some places. I personally have seen in Netherlands, for example, people who got this monkey smallpox in the hospital. So, but what I have seen, for example, it was not a heavy case and so on, but of course it's unpleasant and so on. About famous people who, for example, got smallpox and survived before the vaccination. It was, for example, Joseph Stalin, head of Soviet Union. When he was a young man, he got smallpox. That's why his face was not like on the posters and so on, but it was all with this reminds of foods from the smallpox. He was not beautiful. And one famous, well-known in Soviet Union's singers, maybe you know Claudia Schifrin, but it's very old inspiration. So, Sini Platoche song. It's time of Second World War. That group still has this. So,
Translator?
yeah.
Musst du auch
This
jetzt
was
sagen.
no, this was
Drüber? Das ist gewinnt.
So, and this singer, she told that in family it was infection, and not many people remember it. But when you hold your life, see this authoritarian person on the posters, on the photos, and he's so beautiful, and so on. Not beautiful, but normal, to say. it's not proper word and so on. And then it was sponsored in Kremlin after some celebration and so, and then came people and told the girl that Claudia, Joseph Stalin want to see you. And then she wrote in her memories that she came to the table where seated Joseph Stalin, and then she was shocked. First of all, because she saw that he's big, like on the posters and so on, and near the table seated a small person, he was 1 meter 56 centimeters. And second, that his face was completely hidden by smallpox. And she, when I look at him, first of all, it's something different, and second, that it was so amazing. This is, I just afraid. So, and then second, I start to afraid even more because I understand he is this outer head of the country, and maybe he see my reaction on my face. What will be with me? Maybe I will be punished also and sent to the army somewhere. So it's not happened this girl. He like how she's singing, so but this is the action. Smallpox, it's not only that you behave, you have reminds for all your life, but it's dangerous disease. You can die from, and you die from what? Because it's not only this pustulus, but bacteria, they produce also toxin, and this toxin can kill you, and you die because of intoxication of your liver and kidney, because of products that produce this microorganism. And as I told, Indians make inoculation much later in Great Britain. Edward Jenner, he started making vaccination, and also he introduced this word, like we think about. His ideas about vaccination was that ladies that work in military, they got cow smallpox, and cow smallpox have a very easy clinic by the human, and he decides that you can just make vaccination from the word vatka. Vatka, this is cow, and then you will not suffer from the human smallpox. It was like that, and then start to produce vaccines, and people survive. And second thing, this is this picture. They make some surgery, of course, in India and so on, and this is the difference with the later time, like for example, medieval time. So in surgery, ancient Indians, they were better like later generations, so in some kinds of surgery. And what they're doing, you see here, this is plastic of the nose. Why it was like that? When in India some criminal, so this little picture, some criminal was punished, for example, who steal something, or I don't know what happened with people who kill somebody. But if you steal something or so, you have criminals, they finish, they cut the nose. And of course, before that everybody that sees you have commit some crime. And of course, if you are also maybe it's happened to so you want to be normal, because everybody just not normal. Then Indians, they make surgery. They took a piece of skin from the frontal area, turn it to the nose region, then connect with the tissues and form this nose. Then you walk, I don't know how long, so long as it necessary, a few months or something, and when all the tissues growing well, they cut and turn and so, and of course it's different time and so on, but in written sources it's written that they can do this operation such a way that people can't see that your nose was cut. There is something that so that means plastic surgery nowadays, use special needles and laser and special materials, for example. Not it's difficult for us, for example, to imagine how it was possible that you can see, but it was like this. And of course, more or less, even from the distance, even something is visible. So you can create a story what happens.
Wonderful.
Ordinary trauma. So this is about plastic surgery. Interesting that in modern or less time, in 19th century, for example, and 20th century, so but 19th century, Crimean War, beginning of 19th century, and on the war, it's also always trauma, something, and sometimes on the war, also you can lose your nose. And then different person completely, I call it like more or less present, 19th century, so it's not so far away. Nikolai Pirogov, famous Russian surgeon. He developed this Indian method different way, and he made successful 2 operations of plastic of the nose. 19th century. So lower page. Why? This is different problem. 18th, 19th century in Europe, and especially 19th century, Paris, all this stuff, and spread of venereal diseases, syphilis. And syphilis, always people try to treat this someday, but at that time was treatment with hydrarlium, for example, and so it's also dangerous, toxic, and so on. Count, you will, in skin disease, you will start the first stage, second, and the last stage, when due to syphilis, the bones, because in the nose, all these bones, they are very thick, and so they just broke and not like broken inside or something. And so, and tissues just gone. And interesting that among these 2 operations, the first one and the most successful was done in Riga. And how it happened? Nikolai Pirogov, he studied in Moscow University in surgeon and anatomist. He studied in Moscow, then in Professor Institute in Dorpat University in Tartu. His story is interesting, I will tell you later. So. But then he was sent to, because Dorpat University in Tartu, Estonia now, it's German university, he was sent to study more, and his topic was military medicine system of creating hospitals to Germany. And in Germany, he was in Vienna and some different cities. He wrote about this work, about the system of German military hospitals, and later was used in this book in different countries. And Germans themselves, they highly value this scientific work of him. But on the way back, in Tilsit, it's Kaliningrad district of Russia nowadays, he took himself bad. And he sent a letter to Tartu, during the time that he took himself bad. And so, and then they departed from this area, it was to Riga. And in Riga, he felt himself very bad. We don't know what happened with him. I really don't know. So it's no signs of diagnosis something. But he was situated in the military hospital, however, he don't want, but head of military hospitals and universities for this area, it's Livonia in that time. He was in Riga, this person. And he met him because Pirogov was well known at that time, and so on, and known that they were to the same hospital. So he was treated in this hospital, and for him to make a procedure, we don't know what, and so it's something maybe upset, pneumonia or something. It came one man without qualification, person who helped with the doctors, and he had at the time it's called like saddle nose, so it was flat because of sickness, and it was so because his parents they had such pleasure house in Riga, and then he felt himself that he told, if I will survive, I will repair your nose. And so, and after some period of time, he recovered, and this man come to him and told him, so, Professor, he told that you will 3 finals and so on. He told us, so he made this innovation. Which way it was done? He made a different way. He took piece of skin, not from the frontal area, because you can see this, but from the hand. And that hand, all these hands are covered in it. And make a Paris plaster with special wooden construction. Then he connect this piece from the to the frontal area to this nose, and then till the time when everything will go together, he just worked with this construction from the end. And after that, he cut this piece of skin on the hand. So your hand was redirected and he fixed this piece of hand. Then he made a second such operation in territory of modern Ukraine, so because it was war time, so it was a person injured. So from that time, such kind of plastic steel sometimes when it's necessary possible to use. However, it's rather complicated because it stays a long time to recover from the person. But in 19th century, it was very important because your nose shows your diagnosis and people don't want to show it, of course. Understandable. Such a story related to the India, and the idea comes to the from the books about Indian medicine, the history of medicine. So, but then he stayed longer because he asked surgeons in Riga Military Hospital at that time can't make even amputation of the leg. And this kind of universities and military hospitals asked him to stay a little bit longer and to educate local surgeons. He did it, and on the time he did it, his place in Moscow University put a different person. However, normally they waiting for him, and life of Kharkov changed and passed a different way. But however, he worked in medicine, so but he decided not to work in medical science anymore. He was like practitioner. He was very angry that he can't educate others, and he stopped to work with the science. So that's pity, and also only at the end of his life, he understands that he has so much material from his practice, but no one knows about this. He started to write his book about surgery. It's like practical stories of all surgery. So the book, it was stayed on his table. He never finished this book. He died. And the book first time was printed just about 20 years ago in Vinnytsia, place where he did later in Ukraine. So now we know this people who interested. I never read this book. You can read this book, you can know something, but of course for this period of about 150 years, that is now not up to our data and development surgery. But it is historically this is interesting. So, is somebody else is ready for today? No.
İsmi tuttum diyor. Bu kadar yükümlü mü?
In this case, it's not.
Se kirjoitti jotain meille. Huomasitko sen? Mitäkö se kirjoitti?
En tiedä, tekis mieli käydä katsoa.
Minä en katso.
Ei vittu, pitääkö se omaa luentoa?
I mean, you're having the presentation, but it's really at the end.
I still feel like I did.
Loppuu 13.30.
On tullut.
Aivan vaihto.
Thank
Närmi vitsi. Tamam bir
Може да точно, но може да.
Якусida, marutmelo pujata. Sadda shrukrta kan dum. Pune.
Can we go in live through Tinder, please? Alsof ze toch ook gewoon toelaten bij de mond en te buiten toen. Dat maakt
Dancer na we. Sile. Por Dios. O kam draga prindišana. Kurahalan خوش شده. فرا خاکی وسای که من را فکر کنم که کارگاه اشتباهی بود. I'm medicine in ancient China.
Oh, we have a presentation.
I'm bored, mate.
He's still.
Are you hitting his legit live?
Unimio piste.
YouTube.
Unimio.
So ancient Chinese medicine wasn't just
Estitüsünden tanıksın.
it was about like understanding.
Malmakat majak.
So they believed in the body, the mind, and the spirit. They're all connected. So health came from living in balance with nature, the seasons, and even your emotions. If something was out of the balance, whether it was your diet, your lifestyle, or your inner state, would lead to illness. Let's see some examples. So the 5 elements theory is called the Wu Zen, was centered in diagnosis. These elements, wood, fire, earth, metal, and water, are thought to be part of everything in nature, including the human body. For each element related to certain organs, for example, the liver is linked to wood, the wood familiar, and the emotional anger. If someone was very irritable, a Chinese doctor might say the wood element was out of balance. So I'll be talking about the yin yang theory. So I think this is like probably the most well-known concept from Chinese philosophy. Yin is the cool, passive, and quiet force, and yang is the hot, active, energetic force. Everything in the universe was seen as a mix of these two elements. So health needs balance. If someone had a fever, it might mean they had like too much yang. If they're tired and pale, maybe they had too much yin. So pulse diagnosis is one of the most popular methods. So doctors would feel the pulse in 3 positions on each wrist using 3 fingers. They didn't just check how fast the pulse was, they felt like the qualities like the depth, strength, and rhythm. They believe that each position reflected a specific organ. So a skilled doctor could reflect the liver problems, stomach issues by just like examining the pulse. So acupuncture and acupressure. So these were these were used to correct the imbalances in the body or the heat. They believe that heat flows through channels called meridians. When the flow was blocked or weak, people got sick. Acupuncture used like thin needles to like stimulate these points. Acupressure was uses fingers instead of needles. So both the methods were aimed at getting the heat flowing again, helping the body to heal. So this was one of the early vaccinations for in China. So long before vaccines were invented in the West, the Chinese had a method to prevent smallpox. So they would take powdered scabs from someone with a mild case of smallpox and blow it in the nose of a healthy person. Yeah. So this sounds risky, but often avoid because it gives them the immunity from smallpox.
But again, India started this as well. There is book. Again, it's strange, of course, to listen to me, but I hope some of you will like to read some books. And Barikov, he's an Italian writer, and he was very popular, I don't know, 20 years ago, history and his life and so on. And his book, Silk, Barikov, Silk. And this is about China. China was completely closed country. Who came from Europe to China stay forever. China, time by time, they invaded Europeans in all times to develop something. And China is now about, he told of course it's 1,000 years ago, but they stay more or less on the same level till 20th century, last century. It was the same kingdom, the same traditions, everything. And it was very important to everybody till the time its empire collapsed. So it was this so-called revolution with Mao Zedong and so on. No. They sometimes, time by time, invaded from Europe, for example, some scientists or somebody, or Marco Polo was a traveler, for example, very close and so on. And they thought, oh, you will make some work, and you will be rich, we will pay for you, and so some people think, oh yes, I will be rich, and so they come and so. But as a rule, it was not always that you can't leave China, you stay forever. They don't kill you and so, but you can't travel back. Because they don't want that somebody abroad knows their secrets. And secrets, some of them, for example, of course, silk made also in Persia and everywhere, but for example, porcelain, it was discovered again and separately in Europe, like in Meissen in Germany, or different kinds they call also like porcelain in England, but it's very thick and so to keep a different original, different quality and so. And they did a lot of interesting things, but no one knows about it. They kept everything in secret. And we also must understand that China became such a big country with more than milliard inhabitants. Its last a little bit more than half a century. It's unbelievable, of course. But before, in that times, with big territory, but inhabitants was not much. So we could go about how it's happening. And Chinese medicine was, again, first these methods he told, they still in use. In China, also now, I never been in China, so it's rumors, but I tell and so on, but they have modern medicine, like we have all the technical medicine, but they have the same developed and modern clinics of Chinese traditional medicine. They used all these methods like physical exercises and acupuncture, acupressure, and so on. What is the difference? This idea about meridians and electrical flow, so to say, through our organism, if only people don't believe in it, nowadays we know, yes, it really exists. How they discover it, I don't know, but it exists. And so there are electrically active points in our body, and influencing these points, we can reach some result. And most of all points is region of fear, for example. So they know it. So they study the same long like this kind of medicine, 6 years or longer. All this. What is the difference between upper pressure, puncture, and the third one we have called MOXA? MOXA, this is burning these special cigars from the medical plants. It's the same biologically active coil. The lightest is just to press. Stronger, this is needle. And the last extreme, this is also very thin, but not like a needle, of course, cigar from medical plants, and it burns this place to get the strongest possible result. And about help or not. We personally don't have experience and so on, but I had, for example, a student from Brazil many years ago. I got him a very good doctor, he was very clever, and so, and he spent 1 year in China, and he told that he had extremely strong auto accidents pain in the leg, and he was treated with acupuncture in China, and then he was a young man. But anyway, and then after this treatment, he forgot and asked for course, because it could be actual also for me, for example, how long he gets inside. And he said, no, it was 3 years ago, and still, and before he said it was just a heal of his life, and that's why he came to China, because he saw that maybe there, thinking about this Chinese medicine, they can help, and it happened. I believe okay, of course, because it was real example. Or my colleague, long ago in 90s, when former Soviet Union was open and then they became independent, and then people started to travel and to study information. It was a lot of different kind of business. And somebody organized also that they took some doctors, she was a medical doctor, so they took to China for a short course to study some fields in acupuncture. And then I met her. I never seen her for many years. I said she don't take me really better anymore, but she was a nice, elegant woman. So, and then and she worked in the American school. And someday she disappeared. So then I met her in the city and asked me why, what you're doing. So, oh, I work now for this acupuncture. So, oh, you know, so maybe, no, I don't know anything. I don't know that nothing. I studied only to make money. So just ladies can lose their weight. Is it possible? He joking. So yes, she said possible. So what you doing? So nothing. I because it was short course, just a few weeks. So I don't know anything about it. It's just business. And so I know this point that they show how we find the special like pencil, for example. You know approximately that, but we have different formulas. Okay, it's always mistake how you can do it. So, you know approximately so, and they show to you, you work, and so then you understand. And then with this, like a pencil, you find there is activity, needles, and so on, and so on. You lost weight, and so look at me. She was always nice and so on. It's also just my colleague to do for me time by time. So nothing, you just walk like this, and the time you again start to take weight, and so again needles, and again, and so you can eat everything, but it's really you can just walk, but don't ask anything, I don't know anything, but I have a queue near the doors, and so everybody pay, everybody want to have a nice figure. It was like a shop, but it's not really medicine. It's really cool business because you see like it is and so. But it was such a time, and so we're doing in China. We study everything, philosophy, then all the media, and all the poems, and we're doing. The same like in the pulse. They know we know about 100 pulse rates officially, but I can't call them. Nowadays, no one from doctors even try to count or to take your pulse. This time fast from control, you can do it for yourself. Or sometimes the doctor came and say, oh, I have heart problem. Hardly somebody take the pulse. Listen, electrocardiogram. And so, but they also studied in that time, they specialists who studied medicine only by pulse. It was years and years and years, and you have teacher, and of course, it's not everybody you can teach to do this. So, and this teacher, he decided that maybe you started 4 or 5 years pulse, and then he will tell, so you're not good, you can't work like this, and so on. You just lost your 5 years, and so on. But as a rule, it was happening so, and they develop also feeling the fingers, and so they know pulse. And then it's not like we can only count and to tell, oh yes, it's strong, or weak, but they sitting, they take your pulse, and sitting with this, they can sit 10 minutes, 20 minutes, how long it's necessary, but afterwards, these people can make, they write all your diagnosis and so on, and treatment. And if you investigate these documents, you will find everything, most of the cases, as he told. It's very strange for us because we don't have this. But in China, some people who have money, who believe in so, they can come to such clinics, and that will be done for them. So it's also different world. And the same with acupuncture. We think we study everything, and it helps really. Not always, because if it is infection, that is infection. But if it's some disbalance in energy, and everything is disbalance of energy and so on, they can improve. So, just think, and of course about this pulse, and also acupuncture, for example, it's, again, not everybody can study like this. There are teachers who just feel who can, and it's maybe one from 100,000, I don't know how much. And so the same like these healers, for example. Also, yes, they are, but if you see advertisement in the newspaper, if you write that I can treat you if you want to have a baby and everything, and oncology as well, it's not true. But there are some people, 1 in 10 million, 1 in 100 million, I don't know, who really have skills that we can't understand and we can believe or not believe. So, China. Acupressure, acupuncture, and Moxa.
So yeah, this is one of the most famous doctors throughout the world. So he was a medical genius of his time. He lived in the 2nd century. He was one of the first people to use anesthesia in surgery. He created a special herbal mix called marking to make people sleep during operation. He also performed surgeries, including ones on the abdomen, and including bone movement for that time. Many people saw him as almost magical in his abilities. And then there's another famous doctor, Wang Shu was Wang Shu. He lived in the 1st century and wrote a famous medical text called the Pulse Cafe. He organized many types of pulses and into a system so doctors could use pulse taking more efficiently. His work helped make pulse diagnosis a true science in Chinese medicine and has influenced the doctor for centuries. And lastly, wrap up, ancient Chinese medicine was deeply rooted in observation, balance, and prevention. It wasn't just about curing disease, but also about maintaining health by living in harmony. So traditional Chinese medicine is also practiced around the world today, with acupuncture, herbal remedies, and pulse diagnosis. Thanks.
So, and again, some illustration. You can see this is figures. It's in scale of field, for example, that used in China. However, this is historical. This one is from 50s. This is from 70s, beginning of 80s. In university, they study all these meridians and biologically active points, and they study also Chinese medicine, also in the US, but not so deep, like in special. They have also schools where they study only traditional Chinese medicine. So like this. Also, it's mostly in Arab medicine, traditional. You can't, like with the student I told yesterday, for example, also asked him if you can't see this, and so you will work like a doctor, and so how you will work if you can't see naked women. And so I will work only with the men. So you have other doctor who can work with the women. So because of his religion, I never asked him deeper and so on. Because you don't change anything, so you need to respect what he does. But he wanted a doctor, he was motivated and so on, but he said, no, I will work with the women. And if somebody, sick lady will come and say she needs immediately some help, different doctors. No problem with me. Okay, I don't know how it goes. But in these cases, in the long ago, it was the same that, for example, Arabic doctors, they come to examine female body, and then if they come to women, she on a figure just show place where she has pain and explain, and so to husband, doctor, oh, we need to do this and that, or something like this. And the same goes in China, and you see here this small, it's such a size figure, also with millions and so on. And women, she show on this figure where in which place she has a problem. So also existed. Nowadays it's a different way. So some women, for example, like to go to gynecologists to men, and it's normal. And they can explain to you why they come to men, not for women. They will say that all women sometimes so rude and so painful, and so they look like in the market meat cutter and so on, or men is more gentle and so okay. So I never been my gynecologist, of course, but somebody no, never ever I come to a man, and so it's prevention. So I want to being a gynecologist, and this is also normal. So again, in the medicine, everything can happen, and everything exists, and you just think that would be, but it was, or it will be one day. So it is like this. Thank you for the presentation. And again, it's history, but it still exists in China. In some other countries, you see also clinics of Chinese medicine. And how it is. For example, formerly, just 20 years ago, so we go for you. I've been in the Netherlands, and my colleague, he had also a problem with the back and so on. And he tried everything, and now it's different. But just think about how everything is changed and how it could be. 20 years ago, and I told you, why do always take pills? And he took a lot of painkillers and so on. Why didn't you use cream? I said, I don't know, my doctor never prescribed me, so what to do? Can you go to the chemical shop? I can't do it. I came to the chemical shop, and I was also kind of surprised. That's why I tell the story, because you need to know when you return to your countries. Finland, it's I think like we are, so much, there are different traditions. But just a few ago, I went to the chemical shop, so I said, I want to. And then it was no problem. She just put that down on paper, like original recipes. Can you write what you want? I said, yes, but I'm not from Netherlands. So she just took it. I can write properly this recipe. I wrote one from. Yes, you can have a pills and so, but not tea. Okay. So why not tea? It's not exist. You can come to Germany, you can buy a particular thing or something. So she took me a Netherlands pharmacy and showed, look at this, pills, not tea. Nowadays, in that time, it was not possible. But that was before the European Union, and so you can't travel so easily for me because I was from Latvia and so on. No problem. So I go to my friend in hospital, doctor, and said, "You have chemo shop. Can they make remedy for me?" No problem, what you want. I want black cream physical. So, can they make you? Yes, no problem. Which one? No. This one. I said, why? Doesn't matter what you do. And he explained to me, in that time they learned like the skin have protective function. That means when you use cream, this active ingredient not pass through the healthy skin. And in this case, you have problem not with the skin, with the skin, but you have fever, and that means that active ingredient will never pass to the muscles and so on, because of protective function and so on. It's just useless. So, excuse me, you can drive few kilometers from German border, and in each chemist shop you will buy thousands of people they use these creams and it's helping them. No, it's placebo. It's psychotherapy, they do it, but it doesn't help. It couldn't be, couldn't be. Nowadays, you can buy without prescription all these things also in Netherlands. It's okay. But in your countries, it so could be some difference between the countries. You need to know what you can do, what you can't do. Or, for example, American is progress, as I told, I was, in this case, as I was really, without exaltation, but shocked. Because there is a first generation of antihistamine preparates. You know what it is? Antihistamine preparates, it's when you have some kind of allergy or something like this. And nowadays, we have more modern and even some experimental. But first generation, it's like Dimidro and so on and so on and so on. And European Union. In Latvia, you can't buy Dimidro without special prescription or maybe even not at all nowadays. Because drug users, they start to use this Dimidro, it's doing something other than doing something and getting effect. I don't know details, but it is like that. Trust me. You can buy not Dimidro, but similar first generation in Spain without prescription. And it's used by, for example, me personally who use it Dimidro, because I need not only one tablet, but just water, and I sleep perfectly. So without the strong stuff and so on. And it's not dangerous. They stop use because just synthesize with a stronger effect. And to sleep, it's side effect of Dimidro. So I had 10 tablets from different countries for many years. And so I'm not sure, but I think it's finished now. We want to put some in one of the countries. But I know about this anyway. Then in Spain, you can buy with the name Termidina, similar preparat without prescription people use. Okay. But you will buy 10 tablets. I don't know, 40, 20. And then United States. Just in chemist shop, I saw this different name, and it is like we call Dimidro, so chemically it's the same formula. You can buy, it's not big control. So dosage that we use here is 10 milligrams, and I take water. But here it is 20, okay, but it's covered, so that means it's a difficult one. And you buy 160. 160. And then I use just in some cases, so it was only. But in chemist shop, like in supermarket, you have buy one, take second for free. This is 320. What you will do with these tablets? You will do daily, like crazy. So because in human nature, not to throw something if you take. And Americans also about money. And second point also, it's happened in many countries. It's happened in my family that for me, call from Norway, whether it's like sleeping illness and so on. And asked that, mother feel herself bad and so on, but occasionally discovered and so I said, let's that she just find what have in her chemical and so it was a lot of stuff. I said I can't concentrate like this. It's too much. And so can you make a list and send me the list? And so then I will see all of them and so on. And I saw the list and I thought it's just impossible. One doctor prescribed something, not asking that she, for example, she is a gynecologist, physician, surgeon, neurologist. Everybody just prescribes the remedies, and the result was that one remedy before, the second against. And it was too much. Part of them you need to immediately take out, part of them we need to discuss and maybe to change it dosage. Could happen. And in America, it's also strange because if you're looking for an apartment, you can watch it without owner of the apartment. All the stuff, private stuff, everything there. Of course, there is Macron with you and some representative of the house, like from the administration. But for me, I had a bad feeling because I also, you see photos of these people, excuse me, underwear, drying and so, and you have feelings that each moment this person can come and say, what are you doing in my flat? I don't want that somebody comes to my flat such a way. And I saw that it's prior range military persons, he and his wife. She's also military. No problem with that. And watching to the kitchen, I saw a lot of big this American size bottles, boxes with medicine. And of course, I'm also human, however, it's not mine. And like a doctor, I can't pass. I want to see what they use. And they, of course, are rather young. They are between, I don't know, 35 and 42, something like this. I have actually to do. What I saw, 3 big bottles with antidepressants. Each big was antidepressant. 300, 250 tablets and so on. Maybe for 2, but it's too much. If they are 2 use different, it must be 1 and 1, of course 3. And 4 different painkillers, starting with easy, like paracetamol, but also paracetamol, excuse me, when it's 500. What you will do with this? Voltaren, it's okay, but also 300, what you will do with this? Then they were also painkillers. So I forget my name, so I wrote it, and so that have addiction and it's used only in a hospital or prescribed. The max is 10 tablets, and then you need again to come to the doctor if it's necessary, but they stop as soon as possible because it's not only addiction to this, but for some people after they even first start and it's started.
Morphine,
No.
morphine,
Like
morphine, opioid.
I don't just senile sclerosis. So, but the same principle. So you can get hallucination and so, and it's also staying in this big bottle. And first, of course, I said, how is it possible? But it was prescribed. It's not, you can't buy it without recipe. It's prescribed. But in civilized countries, it's automatically, for example, you can get this decision from the doctor, they remember, but you can buy 10. In one day, you don't need it, so not like this. And again, when it stays in the kitchen like this, it takes so much space and so on. And then you think about military person sitting maybe in some important point, and after all this antidepressants plus painkiller with this effects and so to push or not to push this point, what will happen? That was strange. You need to know all the conditions because if once in life it will happen, you need to pass all of those again in United States, if you want to be doctor, and if you will be doctor in America, you will be very, very, very, very rich. But it's a lot of responsibility because first patient always sign that if I don't know what some small manipulation and so on, and it will describe everything you can imagine what would happen. The last point will be that you can die after this medication or something like this. You sign that no problems with that. I'm informed, and so it's very strange. But about size of package and how people use medicine. I prefer, of course, European system, and I expected something like this. The same like with the prices of medicine. Colleague, she asked me to come with her because she said, "Oh, I don't know anything about medicine. And the doctor prescribed me this and this, and I know what it was with her. It was just mycosis on the neck and so on. But she worked with this long period of time and sleep treatment. But I thought better to go to the specialist here that they could analyze this. That it was so far that it would be XM as well. Coverage, so people replace it. So better to the analysis and so on. But she started to use medicine I gave to her, and analysis was nothing because she came to doctor after another month. Could be that this necrosis was not a result of layer of the skin. And we came to the chemist shop, and it was the same. First they took your insurance card, then they called to the insurance company, they discussed something, and they returned it over. So this is cream for you. It was the same like I gave to you, it's okay. And then second, insurance company will not pay for this. You can buy it by yourself. I said, okay, but how much? $80. Okay, and what doctor and what the insurance company want to do, they thought you can get for free tablets. But tablets, as you know, now against fungal infection, they are really very toxic for the liver. And you can't take any drop of alcohol, for diplomat, for example, reception. So it's not a problem in reception, but in general, without alcohol, it's really very toxic. They don't take it. It's stronger, yes, it helps, yes, and so on. But it's true that because of that, I have seen the papers. And so why you asking me? So I said, I'm very good doctor. Have you license for Washington State? No, I don't have a license, but I have not intent to prescribe something. I just want to see what they speak about. And they saw the paper, and I saw cream. The second medicine was prescribed doctor because I don't know. They don't know the patient. And so, in the price, $286. Okay, and I said, this is consultation by specialists, analysis, and remedies. No, this is cream report. Do you know price? It was Econazole. It's something. Econazole is just ordinary cream against infection. I don't know why clotrimazole and stronger they sell without prescription. Econazole in the United States only by prescription.
3 hours.
However, it's people like clotrimazole. It's only for this cream. Do you know that in Europe this cream it's €5 once.
No extra, before doing this.
They look at me like
Oh,
286 just for this cream. And then in Amsterdam, colleagues from the European pharmacy agency, they explained because after this chief of insurance company was killed near New York, it was in December. Maybe something like about it. They explained to me how work insurance system there. In Netherlands, for example, this is state system. In America, this is private insurance company, and by the insurance, all of you, because they want to have profit. And if I see that this 3 months, for example, our profit is lower than previous year, I see what to do. where to get money. Then they push all the prices for everything, and that means that because everything costs as it costs and so on, they like it's on paper pay this, but in reality it costs much less. And the difference, this is my job. That's why I don't want to prescribe to you to pay for you for some that is more expensive.
Ferhat.
Maybe works better. I want to pay for your operation, manipulations, investigation as minimum as possible, just to earn that my bosses, for example, and the actioners of the company, they can work. And I never know because I don't read newspapers in the United States and so, that just before it was killed, it
Yeah,
was
that-
article of the New York Post, where describes the system that a lot of oncological patients never got treatment because of this kind of and everything. I don't know the problem. So it's not about history of medicine. It's about present moment that will be history later. But think about your work and that you must know very well not only local heroes and local history, but also how works the medical system. It is difference between countries. And it's important to know that so. And sometimes it will be maybe strange for you, but you need to play with the rules of local territories and local authorities. So, I will see you next week. I have one question.
Ekleyek gözümüzü düzlemişiz.
On Tuesdays, we have 2:30, and before 2:30, you still have normal anatomy, yes?
Yes.
Yes, it's finished at 1. I think about if to make a tour around the city, for example, this day. Is it possible or no? It is. And on Fridays, you don't have anything after. Okay. So next Tuesday we will meet here, and please be ready with your presentations, and we will think if the weather will be good. It's not snow, no wind, no rain. On Friday we will go to the city, and we will decide. It's half an hour between. You have till 10 o'clock. You have foreign language. Yes.
Yeah.
Fridays. Everybody.
Yes.
Till 10.
So Thursday we come here as well?
No, Thursday till we here.
And Friday we go out.
On Thursday we will decide about Friday according to the weather and so on. In this case, maybe I will come here, we will try together. Maybe we will do Friday long very long if you don't have anything after this. And other day we will make shorter or somehow combine it. Just to see something. Like you see pharmacy, for example, and home city. Because it takes a little time. And then we will make shorter next Tuesday. Or Tuesday we will make the same, but maybe last Friday.
Thursday.
So we will decide about. So next week.
Doğa.